Transformational coaching tips. Let's talk about the 4 C's that allow us to be holistic and missional in our coaching. Now, as coaches, the whole issue of coaching is bandied about in terms of, okay, when you coach someone, what do you work on? When we talk about transformational coaching, we are talking about approaching the whole world the leader lives and ministers in. And we're being very intentional about joining Jesus on his redemptive mission in our world. So when we think about that, I want you to look at the slide and see that at the heart of everything, when we sit down to coach someone, is asking the key question, where is God working? And then we have 4 different arenas or 4 different spheres, 4 C's, if you will, that we check in on to make sure that we're having a balanced approach to serving that leader well. So on the vertical axis, we're looking at the first C I call clarifying call. It has to do with our relationship with God. So coaching the C of clarifying a leader's call includes issues such as the clarity of their personal call, their personal and ministry passion, their gifts and role match, how well the gifts that they have are fitting what they're doing, their personality in the leadership role, their spiritual life and growth, the season of ministry that they're in. Some good questions when you're checking in around that C of clarifying calling is, what's your sweet spot where you best fit and flourish look like, and how much time have you been spending in your sweet spot? Now, at the other side of the vertical axis is cultivating character. That's the second of our 4 C's, and it has also to do with our relationship with God. Coaching the C of character is paying attention to how God is shaping that leader's life to look and love and live like him. So you're paying attention to issues like personal growth, their family life, the spiritual leading edge of growth in their life, character, things that God's working on. So some good questions as you coach in the C of cultivating character is, where's God shaping your character right now? What are your growing edges in your spiritual life right now? How are things going at home? You want to pay attention to that C of character. It's an essential part of a leader's life. Then on the horizontal axis, we look at the relationships that we have. So we talk about the third C of creating community. And that's our relationships with others, especially those in our faith community or our church, if you will. So coaching the C when it comes to creating community includes issues such as how are you doing in creating effective ministry environments? How authentic are you being in your relationships? What potential relationships do you have with people that you can explore? How are you practicing hospitality to each other? Some good questions as you check in on the creating community is, how are you creating community? How are you seeking to maintain a healthy community? What areas of your community life are healthy? What needs some attention? And where might we be in need of better balance? When we're working with ministry leaders, this whole issue of relationships is so important. Then on the other side of that horizontal axis is engaging culture. And that has everything to do with making sure that the leader stays on mission with Jesus. And so we're engaging, blessing the culture redemptively around us. And there's issues such as how aware of the surrounding environment through God's eyes are you? What trends are you noticing that affect the life of your mission field, the people around you? What impact are you having as a community of faith on the culture around you? And how are you personally engaging culture as a missionary, as a missional leader? It's real important to ask the kind of questions that make sure that we're paying attention to that 4C. So some questions would be, where is God at work in your mission field right now? How are you personally engaging people redemptively? And how are you equipping your team to engage their culture redemptively? Now remember, you don't have to hit all 4 C's in every coaching visit, but aware of where you are. So you need to kind of gravitate towards the things that are important to that leader's life. Everybody has areas that are familiar and comfortable. And so by nature, we'll tend to gravitate towards one of those C's or 2 of those C's. The leader will, and you will as a coach. But when we're intentional, make sure we check in all 4 C's, clarifying calling, cultivating character, creating community, engaging culture. You will make sure that you're holistic and missional in the way you serve that leader as you coach them, and you'll help them make sure that they're balanced and holistic and missional in their approach to life and ministry. Use the 4 C's well. It's a beautiful way to serve your leaders as you coach them.